What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a fantastic night. If you do follow the Miami Hurricanes basketball program, they did lose to Virginia. It is what it is. But, guys, we are finalizing a deal with Charlie Strong, not for defensive coordinator, to coach linebackers at the University of Miami. I understood before, the entire coaching staff was assembled, Ross, that we had a fairly large budget. There were numbers being thrown around. I would have never guessed in a million years you would have a coaching staff with Josh Gaddis, Kevin Steele, Charlie Strong on the Miami Hurricanes football program's staff. This is phenomenal. Charlie Strong was the head coach at Louisville, the University of Texas, South Florida. He worked with Urban Meyer. He was a defensive coordinator at the University of Florida. His resume literally stands out as a defensive coordinator in college football or a head coach, honestly. He was the assistant head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars this past season, coaching inside linebackers as well. Phenomenal hire. Out of left field, I would have never guessed this. And plus, he's the primary reason Teddy Bridgewater decommitted from Miami to Louisville when he was the head coach there.
That's one thing definitely, Paul, that he can recruit, and he can recruit in the South Florida area. That's well known. I love the attention that Cristobal is giving to our backyard, basically getting these coaches in, putting up that fence while still having that natural presence or a national presence. Like you even mentioned, this guy's coming off just right now, 2020, defensive analyst at Alabama, 2021, Jacksonville Jaguars assistant head coach and inside linebacker, and now he's heading to Miami. This is an SEC type of move for depth. Seriously, this is the type of moves that SEC teams do. They find guys with a lot of experience, and they make them position coaches.
I do not just disagree with you, Casey, Florida, through a 727. I think this is a top 5 to top 10 coaching staff in the nation. If you go one by one, position coaches compared to other programs, we have to be at least in the top 10. At least. This is a staff full of elite coaches, and bringing in Charlie Strong to coach linebackers. Let's say 2 to 3 years from now, Coach Steele leaves to another program wherever he goes. If you look at his coaching experience, he tends to leave every 2 to 3 years. Charlie Strong will, by all means, can be your next offensive coordinator if he sticks around that long. 10 out of 10 hire, and he's coaching linebackers. From all the help we need, we all understand linebacker personnel. The past head coach, Coach Diaz, was not very strong. To bring in Coach Charlie Strong, Coach Steele, who both specialize in this position group, we're going to be taking players from the portal. I mean, home run hire, Ross. This was incredible, outstanding. Obviously, ESPN reported it was being finalized. Nothing's official. Wikipedia actually named him linebackers coach. So I see that Twitter profile page change. You never know what could happen. But, man, Charlie Strong coming to the University of Miami, big news for the program.
I'll say it again, I love the ties he has to our area in recruiting, man. This is something that Cristobal is known for, and it's something he's implementing year one. He is a recruiting machine, and he wants to have guys that can not only recruit but develop as well. We're starting to get all of that mixed in, and it's starting to happen in a hurry, and it's pretty damn special, Paul. I mean, this, like you mentioned, if somebody said these are going to be the next coaches that we hire, Gaddis, Steele, Strong, I'd be like, I don't think so. Sorry, I don't think so. But, dude, Mario nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
No, 100%. I honestly thought that, Coach Steele will be coaching linebackers as defensive coordinator since he specializes in that position unit. I still think Coach Gaddis is going to be coaching wide receivers. Who knows? Maybe we'll even bring in someone else coaching wide receivers. We still have to name a tight ends coach as well. Hasn't been named Coach Field. I think he will be retained because he's a very good recruiter, one of the best in the nation.
Yep.
But we're just building, and it's scary where we are as a program right now. Obviously, we have to win football games, but I think the best is yet to come, Ross. I really do.
if you look at this team right now, starting off into a fresh season, and you compare it to what Diaz had starting last year into a fresh season, you should be a lot more excited about what we got here in the future than what we were going into last year. That's for damn sure. I mean, and we're talking about just on paper. We're talking about literally on paper. These guys they haven't called a play for Miami. There hasn't been a snap given. There hasn't even been a full practice in pads yet. So yes, we should, of course, hold back a little bit. But what we do is we have their history, Paul, and we can go to their history to say, hey, this is where this guy succeeded. This is how he ran his defense. This is how he ran his units. And we can find the mesh. We can find out where it works and start to discover, hey, this might be the style of defense we're really going to play.
I know before we came on here, Ross, you were telling me like Charlie Strong had like over 30 players from the state of Florida on his football team.
At Louisville.
At Louisville. No, he was doing a very good job at the University of Louisville recruiting South Florida players against Al Golden during that time, Teddy Bridgewater, Eli Rogers, just a couple names top of the head that I remember were committed to Miami and flipped to the University of Louisville. Both of them play in the NFL. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater had the, longer career. He's still playing, but, no, he can very well recruit in South Florida. He has ties, very well respected, home run hire.
I will say, and don't quote me on this directly, but from what I believe, though, I'm not sure which season it was while he was head coach at Louisville, but at one point in time, he had 38 players on his roster from Florida. So that just shows you right there, he's had his eyes on the state for a long time.
U-Town with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Mario is killing the game. All of you who were hating because he was taking long can shut up. Wait till next year's recruiting cycle. Thank you, U-Town, for the $5 donation. It's scary what Mario did in 2 months from being at the 76 recruiting class, inheriting Coach Diaz's recruiting class, to what he did in 2 months to get Miami down to 15. We still have Connerly as well, deciding if he'll commit to Miami or not. It's scary what he can do in a full cycle.
Dude, you imagine if we close this 2022 out with Connerly, with the heat and the vibe and the hype we've got going into 2023 already. I mean, dude, it would kick up 2023 immediately, just knowing that the last premier guy out there in 2022 chose Miami. That would have something that would catch the eyes of the elite 2023 kids. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
$5 donation from Sigmund. Alabama stole our blueprint on how to create dynasty, but we are taking it back. We're doing a very damn good job in creating the backbone to your college football program with our coaching staff. I'll tell you what, this is the best coaching staff I've seen since I could remember. I was born in 1994. This is a very good coaching staff, and it's scary what could happen in a couple years.
Recruiting, guys. We know Cristobal is a recruiting ace. He surrounded himself with recruiting aces as well. And Paul made a mention of it earlier, and it's why I believe that Coach Field will be retained as our tight end coach, because he is an absolute elite recruiter at that position. And he assists us in getting help or assists our other coaches in helping them land elite recruits from the safety position and other stuff. So he's a bigger key than a lot of people realize. He's a really, really big key to our entire recruiting format that we basically run season after season.
I fully believe, Ross, like with the emphasis we're putting on linebacker play, Coach Mario Cristobal did say on National Signing Day's press conference, they were going to evaluate the linebacker position unit. They were going to bring in more players. We're going to take guys from the portal. I can guarantee you that. We need to. Yeah. I think Mario wants to address that because the personnel we have right now is not strong to compete at the elite Power 5 level.
He wants to make noise right away. We know Cristobal. He wants to come in here and he wants to prove that he's the right guy right from the bat. By doing that, you get your mix of who he feels are the best guys to fit his system that were left over from the Diaz area, mixed in with some hand-chosen transfers. Guys like Moultrie that he really likes, guys on the edge like that. There's still going to be some guys pop up, and there's going to be some candidates pop up that I believe will be added to this team. I can't say who because I can't read minds. Right. But I believe totally 100% we will add a couple more transfer guys. Even a guy like Frank Ladson's on the team as well. These are just unique weapons that we don't really have right now. And I'll tell you what, dude, Moultrie quite possibly could play a really, really big role for us. Seriously, with his experience, he just might.
Yeah, you're really big on Moultrie. You know, he was a transfer from UAB. I think he playing outside linebacker at UAB, correct?
Yeah, he's playing that edge kind of role, outside
Right.
linebacker, defensive end. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're really big on him. I'm curious how he'll transition from G5 football to Power 5 football.
Yep.
Casey at FL727 asked me, do I think Tyler Van Dyke is a first round pick? I think with this draft class, you have to consider him as one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. If he excels this season, I don't see why not.
If he plays like he did last year, or if he takes his game to the next bump up, yeah, he is absolutely one of the top quarterbacks going into the draft.
I know there's been a few questions. Who's going to be special teams coach, tight ends coach? James Coley, is he going to be coming back? Guys, I think this offseason has shown you, I don't think anyone knows what's happening within the program. According to Brian the Beast London, Mario Cristobal has this football program shut down to a T compared to what Butch Davis had it like when he was running the program as head coach. Nobody knows what's going on. It's going to be very interesting who else we add to the staff.
I think the only thing that we got a little early notification on was the cornerback coach from Georgia. I think that was about it. He's the only guy that really had any media presence or media buzz that was saying, hey, this could be a possible target, and it turned out to be true right away.
Yeah. No, I mean, the names keep getting bigger and bigger, better and better. I remember there was a time this offseason, everybody was a little bit upset about Coach McClendon going to Georgia to be the co-OC, wide receivers coach. Then we hired Josh Gaddis. Oh, we get Kevin Steele before that. We get Coach Adade. I hope I'm pronouncing it that right. Adade, maybe. Ross can probably help me out with that. DB's coach at Georgia, who's literally recruited a bunch of 5-star recruits. Marvin Jones Jr., Jaheim Jalil Singletary from
a die?
Coach Adade. Yeah, probably. But we're killing it. We really are, and I think recruiting wise, it's going to show.
Recruiting wise, it's going to be an immediate impact. I mean, you don't add these kind of guys and just wait for things to happen. You add these guys because they can come in and they can recruit their ass off immediately. That's a Cristobal caliber type of guy. Yes, you got to have your team show up on the field. You got to take care of your position unit. You got to be the coordinator of each side, whatever your job is. But you better get out there and you better recruit, and you better recruit at an elite level.
Coach Ade. Appreciate that, Eric Kennedy. So, Ross, speaking of 2023, any names that you look out for? I know we just previously had Ruben Bain on 29 sacks in his junior year. I mean, he said it best when he was on our show. I mean, having Mario Cristobal, it was like a different Miami he was interested in compared to the previous staff. Any other recruits that really peak out and say, you know what, we really need to land this player, whether locally or nationally?
There's a player that, and you've heard me talk about him before, he's a player that's not always one of the first ones mentioned. But I'll tell you what, Hunter Osborne, man, you know how special I think he is on the defensive line, dude. Reminds me of Trey Flowers is what he reminds me of. He just got an offer about a week or so ago from Bama, and then this last week he just got a Georgia offer. So that tells you right there that the big dogs see the talent and they're ready. We got an offer. Miami thankfully got an offer into him earlier than that. We had him on for an interview. Very, very well-spoken young man, bright future on and off the field. He's going to be a tremendous player. Another guy with serious buzz and a name that we all know, Cormani McClain. I mean, it seems like we're doing some really, 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 really great work at convincing him that Miami really might be the place for him. A lot of hype there. Also, wide receiver Jaylen Brown. I mean, trying to get the best of the best there in our local area. Ennis, of course, is the main target. Ennis is the big name. But I'm not going to be upset if we miss Ennis and we get Brown. I won't be upset at that at all, honestly. There's so much talent in 2023 in receiving, not just in Florida, but across the South in general. I mean, dude, it's just loaded. Even guys like Raymond Cottrell are out there committed to Georgia. I mean, there's so much talent. It's unbelievable.
There's a lot of talent in the state of Florida, in South Florida, wide receiver play. Yeah, we bring in a assistant coach, an analyst role. Comes from he played college football at Duke. Was the offensive coordinator at Gulliver Prep High School, where Jalen Brown attends in Pinecrest, Florida, Miami, Florida, but whatever. Um, I think we're going full court press. We bring in Ruben Bain's brother on the staff as well.
And his head coach.
Coach Cristobal is going to Lake Gibson. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where
Yep, Cristobal.
Cormani McLean attends high school to speak at the high school, and he's good friends with their high school coach. We're
Yep.
developing relationships. We're bringing on those relationships to the staff. We're identifying the top talent in Florida, and we're trying to reel them in and play for the University of Miami. This is what the best recruiters in the nations do. And this is what happens when you spend your money appropriately. You bring on exceptional coaches to your staff. And I'm telling you, man, the future is looking bright at the University of Miami.
March 1st is when Cristobal will be up there at Lake Gibson talking to Cormani's school. Guys, just keep your eyes open there. I'm already in contact with Coach Barfield there, their head coach. We'll be getting the scoop right after that event goes down, and we'll find out exactly what Cristobal had to tell that staff. We'll be getting it right away.
Ross has been killing it. I'm telling you. I mean, there isn't anyone we haven't had on the scoop yet, class of 2023. There's a couple people we want bad, but for the heavy majority, he's been doing a great job.
Hey, man, planting those seeds, Paul. Planting those seeds, watching them blossom.
So, Ross, I mean, do you think, we need a tight ends coach. We need a special teams coach. Any names that stick out? I mean, special teams coach, I have no idea. I don't know who's going to take over there. We've heard Tim Brewster for tight ends coach as a name to think about. He's a very good recruiter. He has heavy ties to South Florida. I don't think that would be a bad option. If you have Coach Field at tight ends coach, I think that's a great option as well. I don't know who they're going to go after, but any other, coaches you think we can add to the staff?
Paul, I really don't know about special teams. I'm in the same boat as you are, unfortunately, with that. But what I will say is Coach Field is my guy at tight end, and what he did getting Skinner to flip from Alabama, he deserves to have that shot, I think. I think something like that really deserves to have a shot, especially when you're talking about him doing it right in the midst of a first-year head coach coming in. While we didn't have coordinators, things were still kind of a mess. Things were kind of in the air still. But he still made that guy comfortable enough to want to come play tight end at the University of Miami, and we are tight end you. I think he earned a shot to be our tight end coach, Paul. I really do.
100%. 100%. I mean, he's locally, a lot of recruits come to the University of Miami because of Coach Field.
Yep.
Hands down. One of the best recruiters we have on staff.
Avante Williams and Cam Kinchins will tell you directly that Field played a big role in their recruitment and coming to Miami.
100%. 19 minutes in, over 185 people joining us tonight. Greatly appreciate your support. If you can hit subscribe and the like button, we would greatly appreciate it. We started this channel from 0 subscribers. We're over 8,000. So thank you guys so much. We could not have done this without you. Hit subscribe and the like button. Ross, anything you want to talk about? Any topic at all that we have not covered yet?
One thing that I haven't been hearing a ton of hype on, it's a guy we talk about a lot, is Jaden Wayne. I've been in contact with him, but it sounds like, some of the initial hype is kind of, and this is what happens in coaching staff. So the initial hype wears down a little bit, and then it's about having that long-term relationship be even better than the initial hype. So it sounds like we're still on the right path in that regards. His parents absolutely love Cristobal. Mom and dad love Cristobal. So it sounds like we're still on the right path there, even though we're not hearing as much hype or hearing his name as often as others. And I'll tell you what, Paul, we got word this last week. David King wants to come and visit Miami, the number 1 defensive tackle in the class of 2023. We've had him on the show twice. He wants to come down and visit Miami. We'll be talking with him after he comes down.
I can't wait for that. No, he's a phenomenal player. I love how we're going after all these out-of-state 5-star recruits like Jaden Wayne and King. I mean, these are guys who we would have never had a shot at all without Cristobal here. I remember Coach Salavea, when you spoke to Jaden Wayne, Coach Salavea told Jaden Wayne he was their number 1 target. D-line wise. He was their number one guy. They're going to go after it. And
Yep.
Jaden Wayne's all the way in the state of Washington. They want out-of-state players that can play at the University of Miami. I love that.
My guess is what was relayed to the players is Jaden Wayne was our number one out-of-state priority, and Ruben Bain was our number one in-state priority.
Love it. No, it's phenomenal. Ruben Bain is a great player. 29 sacks in his junior year, guys. He wants to break the Florida record, which is like 40 or something. Who knows?
If he really is 6'3", like he said on this, remember he said he's measuring at 6'3" now. If he really is genuinely 6'3", his ranking better start going up, dude, because he offers everything else you could ask for.
Yep. Phenomenal player. All right. We have over 200 people joining us live, 22 minutes in. If you haven't heard yet, Charlie Strong finalizing a deal to be the Miami Hurricanes football linebackers coach. We got Josh Gaddis. We got Frank Ponce. We got Coach Mirabal. Josh Gaddis will probably coach wide receivers coach or someone else they'll bring in. We got Cristobal, who specializes in an offensive line. D-line coach Salavea. Linebackers coach Charlie Strong.
We got Mirabal to help Cristobal in the offensive line.
We got Coach Ade from Georgia, who's literally recruited tons of five-star recruits. Marvin Jones Jr., he was a part of that recruiting process. One of the best edge rushers, Larry Bluestein, stated he's seen in Florida football history. Marvin Jones Jr. is going to be a stud for Georgia. Phenomenal player. I mean, we're just adding more and more. Like we said previously on the show, we got a top 5 to top 10 staff, hands down.
I'm not sure what else Cristobal could have done in the time frame he had with the mess that was left behind by Diaz, and then getting the school so on board so quick to spend the money that it takes to become contenders. I mean, dude, something special happened when Mario Cristobal got to the U. Things changed. There was money that was actually allocated and put to the side to help this team compete at an elite level. And we're already starting to see it in the fact that we're bringing in coaches we normally would have not brought in, for position coaches especially. We're going the SEC route. We're bringing in guys who have experience, and we're putting them in just position coach things or, at a coordinator positions if needed. But most of the time, just position coaches right now. And we'll fill that out with guys who have more and more experience all the time. It's great.
And I forgot to add Coach Smith, Kevin Smith from Ole Miss. We bring over a running backs coach who brought Henry Parrish with him. Phenomenal.
Great running back coach. Has a ton, and it sounds like he has a ton of respect already locally from all the recruits down there, 2022 or 2023, 2024.
Ohio Hurricane, $10 donation. Greatly appreciate it. What a great hire. Go Canes. Thank you so much for your donation, Ohio Hurricane. It was a phenomenal hire. 10 out of 10. So, Ross, question. Now that Charlie Strong's overseeing the linebackers, you have Coach Steele as well, who's probably going to have a voice in linebacker play. Does that position unit still worry you, or do you need transfer portal players to have more confidence?
I'm not going to knock it if we add the right talent, that's for sure. If we can get the right guys to come in who can help right away, guys who can not only play week one, but show our younger guys how to play and how to do it right, I would have absolutely no problem with it, Paul. We've got a couple of young guys that have some upside that deserve some chances, but I think that they're still pretty raw, honestly, and especially for what we're trying to accomplish. Guys like Chase Smith and them, they can get their snaps. They can get worked into that kind of stuff, but I still think we're going to go after some guys that got a little bit more experience, that were a little more comfortable playing right away.
I agree. I think Wesley Basaint may get some early snaps. I really do.
Yeah. He's that sideline-to-sideline type of guy you want. I mean, he's the prototypical linebacker we want to go after now and in the future.
Do you think Chase Smith will get a lot of snaps at linebacker?
I think Smith will find a role no matter what. His body type, being the hybrid that he is, I mean, he's a special, freakish kind of athlete when you look at him. They got to find a way to get him on there. I'd be pretty upset if they didn't find ways to use him, honestly, Paul, because like I said, he's a hybrid guy. You don't have to necessarily just say you have to play a traditional role, and if you don't succeed at that, well, you're back on the bench. You can throw him out there into a myriad of different situations, and he can do different things. So I'd like to get us creative with him and show versatility. That's what I'd really like to see, and that would offer him more snaps.
Chase Smith can probably play like 3 to 4 different positions at Power 5 football level. He
Yeah,
played receiver in high school.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right, 26 minutes in, 250 people joining us live. You guys can hit subscribe, hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Ross, any topic you want to cover before we head it over to a Q&A?
No, I think we nailed the big ones. I really do. Just hit talking about the coaching staff and and just loving the hire that we just made. I mean, it's just hire after hire, man. We're all happy about this stuff, dude. And it's great to see the fan base is all
Love
around
it.
it as well.
Yeah, no, guys. I mean, we're really gonna cover recruiting heavily moving forward. I mean, Ross has done a tremendous job. I mean, literally, we're gonna do big things. I know me and Brandon Merriweather. We plan on having John Beeson this week. Calais Campbell's in the mix. He's already confirmed. We just got to get the date and time, and then Leon Searcy as well. So those are three Miami Hurricanes football greats coming on the scoop, and 5-star, 4-star recruits, and 3-star recruits that have all been offered by the University of Miami. So the off season, it can be a little boring at times because you want to see football, but we're bringing content.
Being able to tap in with recruits like this, guys, is a great way for us to offer content. It's a great way to have fresh, new content, be able to provide new news, maybe get you guys info that you're not even aware of, or just genuinely getting to know a player that you're not familiar with. So whatever we can do to keep this going and keep things interesting, that's the whole point. Keep things interesting. We're going to keep doing it, man. And like Paul said, we're going to be pushing this recruiting stuff, no doubt.
So Ross, I gotta ask you. I'm gonna put you on the spot. A lot of people have been asking me about Sam Brooks. Is he still on the team? What's going on with him? Do you know anything about Sam Brooks at all? I'll be honest. I don't. I don't know.
I know absolutely nothing, Paul.
Yeah,
I don't know anything. It's a bummer. It's
I
a
don't
bummer.
either.
I wish I did.
I agree. Anthony Manzano asked Ross, by any chance, do you know what position Charlie Strong was hired for?
Linebacker.
Ugh. I mean, we will be running a 4-3.
That's what it
So
sounds
that's
like.
up. All right, so Utah $10 donation with Charlie on the staff. Now we are set to get the number one linebacker who was Miami in his top 6, Anthony Hill. Go check him out. Also, Mario sent McLean's mom birthday cards from the entire staff. Love Mario. He's doing a great job. We've had Anthony Hill on the show before. We love him.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, really? Was it?
Not yet. No,
Wow.
not
That's
yet.
my fault. I thought we did.
No, King was the big one from there. He was the number
Gotcha.
one defensive tackle in Texas. But like
Doesn't
I
Anthony
mentioned,
Hill follow you on Twitter?
yeah, Anthony Hill follows me, and so does Cormani. So
We'll get him on.
Yeah.
We'll get him on. I'm not worried about that then. Not worried about that at all. But thank you, U-Town, for the $10 donation. Greatly appreciate it. That's the goal. Get Cormani, McLean, Anthony Hill on the show. We've had them all. So let's keep it going. Do you agree with Terry Hanley? Recruiters are a small part now. NIL money is king. Remember, we saw Texas A&M really dominate recruiting with the number one recruiting class in the nation. And a lot of people say it's because of the NIL money. I think that is a factor in getting commitments now. I really do.
yeah, I think it'd be foolish to think it's not a factor. Honestly, that's how I look at it. Is it everything? No, it's not everything. You can't just be a terrible school without development and ruining guys' careers just so they can make $100,000 in 2 years while they're there. But if you have a strong NIL base, you have players coming in that are talented, you have good coaches, and you're developing them and you're putting them in the NFL, you're going to start getting a whole lot of players looking your way. That's for damn sure.
Me Jr. asked, do we have any connections in Texas? Charlie Strong was the head coach in Texas. Whether it was for, I don't know. I don't live in Texas, obviously. He was there for 2 years, I think, or 2 to 3 years roughly.
Yeah.
They got rid of him pretty quick. I don't know how he was relevant with the high school football coaches there. It's a big state as well. I don't know if we have really key connections in Texas.
There's obviously, at least from my standpoint, there's something that's going on, and I don't know if it's just a coincidental thing or just happened by chance thing, but we've had some really good Texas recruits looking at Miami, and even to the point where a guy like Ashton Kozart had us in his top schools before he picked Oklahoma, a guy that hardly any Canes fans even
Yeah.
talked about. They didn't
I
know
love
he was
Ashton
that
Kozart.
serious about it. And
He's a
Ashton
really good
Kozart, he's
football player.
an amazing football player. He is a Margin Hooks trained guy. I'm hoping that that relationship with Margin Hooks and the success that Rambo had at Miami can maybe open the door to us to some of these really, really, really good wide receivers from Texas.
So for those of you guys listening right now, you don't know who Margin Hooks is. Margin Hooks was the wide receiver coach of Charleston Ramble since 6th grade. We've had him on the show. We've interviewed him. He is a personal wide receivers coach. Teaches a lot of these football players very young in the middle school level all the way up to the high school level, such as Ashton Kozart, Denzel Mims, for
Evan
example. These
Stewart.
are Evan, yeah. These are all going to be stars, or they already are stars at the college football level, and will play in the NFL. He coaches them at middle school.
Jalen Hale.
There you go. All these players.
They just keep coming in, dude. Sorry, man. The names keep coming in. Jonte Cook, Noble Johnson. The names just keep coming in, bro. And these are guys that Miami has offered. Michael Harrison Pilot, another guy. Dude, all right there in Texas. I don't know what it is, but we're making offers to Texas wide receiver.
Texas football. It's very good. Very good. Even though South Florida right now is wide receiver wise is very elite.
Yeah.
I will say this. Kyle Casper, wide receiver. His father played in the NFL at the University of Iowa. He played at and then played in the NFL. NFL veteran.
Like 8 years.
8 years. Mario really likes Casper at the wide receiver position.
A whole lot. I got a chance to talk to his dad multiple times. The love that Cristobal has been showing them is real, and they're impressed with how much and how often he can do it from being all the way across the country. That was one of their things as well when he was in Oregon, because Kyler's already visited Oregon. He's familiar with Oregon. So the whole idea was, well, can this relationship happen this far away? Well, from what it sounds like, yeah, it's already happening. We barely offered him, Paul. We barely offered him, and we were already in his top 6.
Keep in mind his father did go to Iowa, and Iowa was in his top 6 as well.
That shows you, though. That shows you the type of impact Cristobal has, though, guys. I mean, to across the state, Arizona, a state we don't really dip into very often for elite talent. We're going after one of their best players in that state, and he's already got us in his top schools. That's not normal for Miami, but it's so awesome to see.
He's a very good receiver. He's very athletic.
And he's not a 6'5" guy that you go,
No.
okay, well, you slow him down, you put some weight on him, you turn him into a tight end. No, he is a 6'5" receiver. He's a genuine receiver.
Yeah, I agree. No, he's a very good player. His father played in the NFL, so hey, good genes there.
Dude, you saw those videos, Paul, of him dunking through the legs and shit on people and off the backboard, all that kind of stuff, just dunking all over people. I mean, he's a ridiculous athlete, dude.
Phenomenal
Ridiculous athlete.
Toby asked, what do we think of Bain's post about Oklahoma? We've had Bain on 4 times on this show.
Yep.
I think we're more confident that Miami has hit deeper with him. We're in a better place with Mario Cristobal as head coach, we feel like, when speaking to Ruben Bain than it was with previous staffs. Do you agree, Ross?
He made it very clear. He said that Miami, I can't remember the exact terminologies, but Miami basically bumped up 100 points immediately with the hiring of Cristobal and then the relationship with Salavea. He said, and it was overnight. It was that quick. Boom, boom. And what that tells us right there is Bain knows how to talk. Bain is a professional. Bain is a good dude. He knows how to play the game right. We all thought that there was genuine interest with him in Miami while Diaz was there. Well, he made it pretty damn clear. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. We're back in it now, guys. We're totally back in it. And hiring his brother, remember, I asked him, about Reginald Bain. How's he doing there? That put a smile on Ruben's face the minute we asked him that. So hopefully, dude, everything's just good vibes, dude, the whole time.
Chad Etheridge asks, who do you think will win if Georgia played Miami this year? I think Georgia would win. They just won the national title. I think our O-line needs a lot of work. I think our coaching staff is going to have a project there. Edge rusher is a big question mark. Linebacker play as well. We need to bring in guys from the portal. I think obviously Georgia would win. We have to pay respects to the national champion until we start winning 10 games or more consistently, start competing in the college football playoffs, start winning the ACC yearly. I can't say we're going to beat Georgia because we've had no groundwork to say we will.
It's about depth, guys. You look
Yeah,
at a team like Georgia, and you go. A lot of people go, "Oh man, they're losing a lot of the players to the NFL." Well, guess what? All those guys they're reloading them with are all high 5-star and 4-star ranked players. Pretty much is who's taking their seat. And if it's not, it's one of those 3-star guys that kind of slip between the cracks, but is well known as a very good player. So I mean, dude, it's they're at the position now of Alabama. They don't rebuild, they reload. And that's what happens when you start getting elite talent year after year after year. We don't have that elite depth yet. We just simply don't have it yet. But we're working on it, and we're starting. And the first thing that we're doing to get it, though, is we're doing it with our coaching staff. And I think that's a great way to do that. I think instead of going out and trying to get the players
I
before
agree.
the staff, I think we're doing it the right way.
100% agree. Let's beat Clemson first.
Yes. Yes.
All right, over 280 people. If you guys can hit subscribe, hit the like button, we would greatly appreciate it. We appreciate your support tonight on a Saturday night. Man, over 280 people talking to us. I mean, listening to us talk about Canes football means the world to me and Ross. Greatly appreciate you guys.
Man, and without you guys doing this stuff, man, I mean, you guys give us the energy and drive to keep wanting to do this and keep doing it real and keep making it into something bigger and better all the time. Like, and no joke, without you guys, we wouldn't be pushing this hard. So all we can say is thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you.
Ross, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
One little off football note here. I got a word from Todd, the Todd Strong movement we had going on here. I got a word from his dad that there are absolutely positive things that have happened. There's still a battle. There's no doubt about it. That was expected, but there are advancements being made, and he's getting more and more comfortable at home. So Todd Strong, we're still rocking with him, man.
Pray for Taj and his family, man. They've been through hell and back, and Taj he's a strong little kid. I'll tell you that, strong as a bull. So we appreciate, we're glad his recovery is going phenomenal, and just keep his family in your prayers and Taj in your prayers. He's as strong as a bull, little man.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, hey, 30-minute show. We do it on the fly. Over 285 people joining us. Man, we could not have done this without you guys. Recruiting is taking off. We expect a top 5 to top 10 recruiting class. We have a top 5 to top 10 coaching staff with Charlie Strong added on board. We're not done yet. We're going to bring in players from the transfer portal. That's guaranteed. I'm telling you, we're competing for the ACC title this upcoming season, and we're either going to beat Texas A&M or Clemson. I can guarantee you that, and we have the best quarterback, if not top 3 in the nation, with Tyler Van Dyke.
Things are looking up at the U, boys. Things are looking up, and it's a beautiful thing. It's nice to be a Canes fan right now. We got something to be happy about. Now, we've gone down the road of preseason hype and winning the offseason. We know Cristobal is more than just winning the offseason, so that gives me a lot more comfort to go into this season, dude. I cannot wait to see the future of Miami Hurricane football. I can't wait.
I can't wait. It's tough to maintain a staff present day in college football, but we're just going to reload from here and enjoy the personnel we have for now because it's the best I've seen. And I was born in 1994. Guys, have a great rest of your night. Thank you for joining us. Hit subscribe on the way out and the like button. And always, all about the U. Go Canes.
Go Canes.